biting at the bit. John, do you want to start off and say hi to Danielle and anything you'd like to share with her right now while I bring up some more?
Man, I have been sharing with Eric just how giddy it has been to feel in alignment with someone like Danelle, who co-authored with us in this series, and her story is an absolute testament of choice and making those decisions, and I'm grateful for that. And from the interactions to the chapter to the publishing and the release, it has been an absolute honor and pleasure, but also an incredible reminder of the intuitiveness that goes into following your direction, your goals, your life, and whatever path and journey you set towards. There are decisions you are currently making that are keeping you from the decisions you want to be making in order to get there. And this book and what Danelle and so many of the other authors contributed to this are plans on how to overcome those challenges, how to focus on the right things and to make better choices. And I love that because I have been in absolute awe of Danelle, your graciousness, as well as the time and dedication you make to creating alignment for so many other people, as well as the decisions you make on a daily basis. So I'd like to pour into you. I would like to say thank you. And I just feel in such, without saying the word too much, alignment with everyone else, because I have had such an incredible opportunity to learn and deepen my knowledge of this principle as much as I get to when I read everyone's chapters. So thank you. And it's so awesome and such a pleasure to work with you in this capacity.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are so patient with me. I run about 900 miles an hour with my hair on fire all the time. So I appreciate, but I think like even as you're talking, I think the word influence has turned so much into influencer that people think you have to have millions of followers and all of these things to create alignment or get to that place, or sure, it's easy for you. And I'm like, no, influence starts the day you realize every time you open your mouth, you are influencing another. Every time your energy enters a room, you are influencing another. And you are either creating alignment with people or dissension with people. And I think that was the day. And that's why I want people to realize the day I walked into the library, I decided humility was going to be more important than embarrassment. And I picked up a book of somebody who was okay being brave and influencing people probably before his time. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be uncomfortable and embarrassed in public, I might as well be doing some good with it. So just realizing that every human is a person of influence. And when you take that responsibility on, you stop saying words like struggle and failure and embarrassment, because none of those things matter. It's like, how can I affect someone for the good today? And that's where we're all headed. So just as you say that, that's how we all get aligned. It's people are like, how did you meet all these people and celebrities and all of these things? And I say, man, it's really not hard to be set apart. It's really not hard to stand up. And what you realize is very quickly, you all find each other because you refuse, like you said, you eliminate those things that are no longer allowed, right? I eliminated it like in my training, right? As we're training companies all over the world, people say the word struggle, I throw my pen at them. I throw an eraser, whatever I have in my hand, and I'm like, you're not struggling. Show me your iPhone. Show me someone who is not eating on the side of the road, who has no clothes and shoes. You're allowed to use that word, and I will help you put them back on. But everyone else, like you have the power of influence. Speak up, do something good, those kinds of things. So I think when we act in the way we're aligned, we win. When we act in ways we're not, we lose. So you are a human who has potential and says, I'm struggling, I'm stuck. You bet it's going to be hard. You just invited poor me into your life. And I just, we don't have to allow those things. We just say, hey, I woke up today. It gets to be me. Let's roll. So that's what we're here for.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, thank you, John, for bringing that up. That's awesome. And Danielle, that was amazing. It reminds me of, I used to have my team. So I travel around a lot, and one of my offices was right next to a Chinese restaurant. So I'd bring my team there every time for a Chinese restaurant for our team meetings. And same thing, I would throw things at them if they became negative, and it backfired a little bit because I was like throwing fortune cookies, and they're like, "Oh, thank you, appreciate that." And I was like, "This isn't working," but that's awesome. I love it. I love it. So who else would like to raise your hand if you'd like to chat with Danelle for a quick second and ask her a quick question? I see Bonnie's hand jump up. Everyone's looking for the Zoom hand. They're like, we're not on
I would
Zoom.
like to.
Yeah. Bonnie, would you like to pour into Danelle just for a quick second? And we'll keep them, just request for everybody, just keep it a little short so that we can interview all of you as well. And I know Danelle wants to get back to the weights.
I could relate to you in a big way because my sister-in-law is going through some of what you went through with cancer right now.
Mhm.
And after the whirlwind of my husband passing away 2 years ago, it's been a really whirlwind as well. But I want to thank you because it is about being grateful. It's about being grateful for Eric and John for introducing me, Erin, who brought me into this. And you have been through so much that it's now teaching me like how to handle even my sister-in-law who's going through what she's going through. And I don't want to go on long now because I don't know if I'm going to talk again, but I've had a few people that surprised me, Eric, that actually one from a post office and one from a blood lab. I gave them a book as a gift. They read it and they actually sent a testimonial to me, and one of them sent it to China. Like I was blown away that we can affect, Danielle, other people, not only here in the United States, but in the world and not even know it. So this was major and it all happened in 1 week. So
I love it.
Thank you for that. And I'll pass on anything to my sister-in-law because it's been a whirlwind with that too.
Absolutely. I love it. I had another mom reach out this week and say how grateful she was. She got to see my journey and see me beat it 3 times. Because her daughter was diagnosed, and she said even entering this journey of whatever therapies they're going to have to go through, she goes, just knowing, well, if somebody can beat it 3 times, we can beat this. It's a different thing than everything going on in the news, right? You just hear about it's that and it's over, and I'm like, no, right? So it's just about getting the right information out. What if we let all the good out way more? Man, we could do some good in this world. So you guys go get it. Go crush it. Take it out. Doesn't need to be here anymore.
That's
absolutely
awesome.
With you. Thank you.
Oh, wow. I'm throwing a lot of hearts on the bottom there. There should be 13, but I can't count. So thank you, Bonnie, for saying that and sharing that. That's awesome. Let's jump over to Nancy next. And we're just going to quickly rapid fire one question or one comment to Danelle, and then we'll let her go. And then we will continue our conversation with each author as well, because we have more authors coming in.
Guys.
So if you're in a holding pattern for your author, if you're an author and you're on the private link and you're a holding pattern, text John, let him know you're there, and we'll get in a little bit. So don't eat all the tacos. Okay, Nancy, what you got?
I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. Each of us has a powerful, impactful story. And as long as we don't compare it to the person next to us with that alignment in our own, to not have that internal judging report card of, oh my gosh, yours was worse than mine, or, I'm not doing it right. I think the more of us, like you say, that talk and tell our truth, the more powerful our stories become, because they're helping people. We never know who they reach. You never know who's listening. You never know who's paying attention. So thank you for that. And I wanted to ask, do your children know your story? I don't know how old they are now, so I don't know if it would be appropriate or not, but have you shared with your children? Because that's the legacy of alignment and gratitude that you put into the world in terms of your own family. You're doing it with the world already, and curious how it is in your home, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. My kids didn't have the luxury of not knowing, actually. Just for how we had to do life. It was just me and my 3. And so they came with me everywhere. They came to every event, every business meeting, they traveled the globe with me and heard my story on repeat and watched it, and they tell it now, right? They stand up for it and they fight for it. And I think, so many parents ask me how you build such an incredible relationship with your kids. And I said, why don't you tell them what your goals are? Why don't you ask what theirs are? They got used to me saying mine every day. They knew what our celebration was when we crossed the finish line. And they were like pushing me out the door to go to work rather than complaining about my work. And so it's all about perspective. I think so many people are afraid to to share everything. I just learned, man, can I teach them how to make money now? Can I teach them how to do gratitude now? Can I teach them how to focus on their goals now? And they are now superhumans. My twins actually turn 16 next week. We are getting ready to surprise and celebrate them. I can't tell you what they are because this is live. And then my oldest is 17. So it's a beautiful life. And I might have done it differently if I knew all of this, but it just unfolded exactly how it needed to be. And instead of raising humans who watched me end up well, they became well with me, in all of the
Oh,
pieces.
wow. That's a beautiful saying right there too. Wow. Look at all the hearts, because nobody knows how to do it not on Zoom, but anyway, that's great. So let me jump over to Willie. I know he has a limited time tonight. So Willie, do you want to jump in and say hello and introduce yourself to Danelle and share anything you'd like with her and or with the book that you're, for the audience to know what to expect in this book?
Yeah, absolutely. Danielle, it is a privilege to meet you. I don't know too much
So
about you,
nice
but
to meet
just
you
simply
too.
listening to you right now, it just gets me excited knowing that there's other people out there who are influencing the world. And what resonated most with me was probably the gratitude part. Because when you spoke, it reminded me of this very precious thing I learned as a kid, which is to change your attitude, you got to change your gratitude. And the
I
more
love it.
gratitude you have in your life, and just like every negative comment or negative thought that you have, just drop 3 more positive in your mind, and eventually it just becomes that much easier. So I just want to just simply say
I
thank
love
you
it.
to helping me remember that power of gratitude.
I
Mm.
love it so much. We actually have the kids version of my book where we started gratitude and the 4Gs that go with it is actually launching in Cancun in April, which is really cool. So it's my kids version. But my son always said something similar to that. And he said it taught him as he grew up. He said, you can never be grateful and hateful at the same time. And so I chose to run this way. And it's true, right? You just replace it. Whenever we were having a hard time, either financially, with our health, in business, it was like, hey, let's on our way. 5 things we're grateful for, 5 things we're grateful for on the way home, And it centers everything. If your life's centered there, you'll win no matter what. I believe it, Lily.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Thank you, Willie, for sharing that. If you need to run, then awesome. Peace out. You rock. And in that, because of what you brought up about the children and so forth, let's jump over to Sarah Lee, because I know this speaks to your heart as well. Sarah, would you like to say something in regard to what we're talking about here, or talk about the book? Yeah, go ahead.
Danelle, I am not familiar with you, but now I want to look you up because I can relate a lot to a lot of the things that you said, in particular, just about having to make decisions and replace your programming with books, and those people being now your mentors in your mind, right? You're
Right.
kind of like Think and Grow Rich, right? That becomes your mastermind,
Yep.
people that you can go to for help. My question would be, what is the one thing that you would tell people that are struggling to lead a team, to get the team on their side? Is there one thing that you would say that's your key to organizational alignment?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, absolutely. Because we work with obviously teams every single day. And I think so many people have lived by the theme of if you're their example, they'll follow. And I think that's a little bit for the older generation. That's not actually how that works. Because how many of us have been like, I'm doing everything I can, and why don't they do it? I don't get it, right? What you have to do is spend time helping people understand their bullseye, their value, their mission, we help every single one of our employees in every company that we work with. We help every single employee figure out what their movement is that they are creating. What is their through line that's kind of existed their whole life beyond their mission statement, beyond their values? Like, they are on a mission to create and live a movement. And when you can find that, we have some tools to do that, right? When you can find that, you actually can help them move the needle in their own personal life and attach it to whatever they're doing with their work. And that makes work so meaningful. They'll never slow down. That's when you can't stop a team, right? I never have to worry about motivating my team because I know what motivates them. And so I think it's taking that extra time. I call it uncommon care with people, when you can dig at who they are, what's the bullseye they're aiming for in life, and applying it to whatever work they're doing, you never have trouble making your movement move the needle in every area of your life, right? I have a movement I'm on. It's why I now take care of my health. I didn't used to. I just worked my face off and it almost killed me, right? Now I have a movement for, you know, my relationships. I have a movement for my work, and it's just something that won't ever be set aside. And so you have to take the time to do that with your team, or invest in your team to have training to do that for themselves. When you care about them at a people level, they'll perform at a professional level.
That's a great answer. I think that's a great answer. What do you think, Eric?
So she agrees with your answer. You win. Okay, good. You got the right answer there, Danielle.
But I think for the audience, there's a lot of people that don't understand that. And I actually really agree with it. Understanding how to tie your organizational goal to individuals' goals, that's a huge skill. And I'd love to check out your classes, because I mean, I think that's
great.
Yes.
You shoot me a message, I'll write you right back. I think it's a generational gap that happened, and it used to be like we would win just based on personal respect, Gen X and above, right? We would perform for our bosses, we do all those things. The younger generations need purpose and meaning and reason, and the older generation thinks they can roll their eyes at that. And what they have to do is come to a level of understanding and say, you're right, I could use a little bit more purpose too. Thanks for being here. Let's find yours. Let's dig into mine and let's win together. And those are the teams that are winning. And so I think, you know, it's just like Dale Carnegie. If we just use Dale Carnegie forever, we have to use those messages and those principles and evolve them into today's words, which is what you guys are doing with these books. And that's how they live on and make more purpose. So I think there's humbling moments that we generations, I'm like in the middle of all of the generations. And so I like feel like I'm always helping teams get along. Like, hey, I'm not old, I'm not young. That's what I'm going to call myself. And we have to help them speak the same language. And I think honestly, we could learn so much from each other. What if we did learn to operate like the older generations by respect, and we actually learned to dig into a method of purpose deeper than we ever had before? Well, I think that makes teams rocket ships. And so it's really a win-win for everybody there. That's why we're so passionately moving with teamengage.com. It's just like that's the wave of the future. That's where we all speak one language, progress.
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, give it up for Danielle.
Great question, Sarah Lee.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's awesome. Thank you, Sarah Lee. Appreciate it. All right, just one more quick one with Danielle, and then two more apparently. All right, so
perfect. Maybe 1, 2. We got to pop out of here quick. We're going to gymnastics.
1, 2. Okay. We're gonna go with Jessa if her voice will carry over to the StreamYard.
I hope so. Can you hear me?
You're good. Yes, go ahead.
Danielle, I wanted to say thank you so much for sharing your story. And I wanted to actually point out and honor you, because one of the things that you said is you touched on how it is that everything that we say, everything that we do, right? You're always influencing another person. But I think that influence starts with yourself. And you did such a beautiful job of shifting the way you were influencing yourself. And that's what radiated. And that's the ripple effect that's going out to your children, that's going out to the world through your work. And so that influence starts within. That influence starts with self. And when you start really, really influencing yourself in a new and profound way, then you automatically influence others in a new and profound way. And you don't have to put the effort into it. So if you put that effort into self-influence, you automatically touch lives in a much higher, better way, right?
Absolutely. That's step 1 in my writing too. You'll see. So you nailed it.
I feel like our chapters are probably going to be like so similar, because I spoke into that in mine as well. So I look
the right answer. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are awesome. Let me bring up one more person. Then we have another special guest, celebrity author, joining us in a second. So Danielle, you might want to stick around for a second to say hi to him if you'd like.
Awesome.
But we want to bring up another author of ours, Daniel Kilburn, had his hand up to say hi to Danielle as well.
Hi, Daniel.
Daniel, just want to unmute so that we can hear you.
Boom. Okay.
There you go. You're good.
Danielle, thank you very much for being here with us. I'm very
Welcome.
grateful to be in this room with all of you wonderful people. What I picked up and one thing I heard from you say is talking about influencing other people. Now, each of us influence other people simply by existing. If they see us or hear us or talk to us, we're influencing them one way or another. But also, what I do know is not everybody is in a transformational mode. Not everybody is in alignment. We can concur that possibly this room right here is in alignment into doing something transformational and changing the world in a good way. But not everybody's in this room with us. So when we're talking with other people, and you mentioned it, ask them what's good, what's new, what's exciting with them. What are they looking for in their life? I love that because that's what I do. You were talking to me, you were talking about me. I love that. So tell me though, how do you impose that on other people? When you're out and about and you come across somebody that sparks you and says, I need to talk to this person. How do you
Yeah.
open that engagement with them?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think a couple things, right? We're all so quick to engage that sometimes we forget to observe. So I think the first step is that we need to observe what's happening in and around the human, whatever is going on, so you can approach them in the right way. But I do have a couple of questions that I use all of the time. When I'm starting conversations, we have a rule. So our training is actually run by what's called the 13 rules of engagement. And one of our rules obviously is leaving people better than you found them. And so that's always the goal as I'm observing, how could I leave this human better than I found them in this moment, right? Might be a conversation, it might be a compliment, it might be a passerby. But if I'm really in deep conversation, I have 3 questions that I use all the time. Where are you winning? Where are you challenged? And what's missing? And those 3 questions are the key to get depth from anyone in 7 minutes or less. And so those are the 3 that I use on repeat. People love to talk about where they're winning. They will do that first. They'll tell you a little bit more about where they're challenged and how you could be an asset to their life in return. It doesn't mean you have to coach right away. It might be you leave and you send them a message later about how to help. And then anything that's missing that you could maybe connect them to somebody else or collaborate with them. It's just always about what are the 3 answers I could get to know how I could serve this person the most. And so I think it's the art of service, observation, and then actually following through on being an asset for others. So those are my 3. Where are you winning? Where are you challenged? What's missing? And usually
Nice.
conversation does the rest.
Nice, nice, nice. You are amazing. Everyone, do me a favor, give it up for Danielle Delgado.
So
She
nice
is
to meet you,
awesome.
Allard. Thank
She's awesome.
you.
I know you got to go. Somebody did want to say hi, and she has just enough time to say hello, and that's it because we do. It's already almost an hour, and we want to bring up our another guest as well. But Aaron, just say hi really quick if you could. You are unmuted now.
Hey, Danielle, I experienced a lot of what you experienced. I had cancer at 25 and 91. It was non-Hodgkin's lymphoblastic lymphoma, divorce, single mom, 3 young kids. I get it.
Champion.
Your moment was the library, like one of the moments. One of my moments was the supermarket with $5, hoping it was going to be enough for the milk and bread. But then I grew my business in amazing ways, the same way you did, because, when you have the determination and you have, like you said, the gratitude is everything. When I was in victim mode, I was not experiencing anything good. But when I switched into gratitude and I switched into like having that crystal clear vision, like everybody needs a vision of what you want. And I love that you share it with your kids. I do too. There were a few.
I love it.
I love you. I love you so much, so much. All right. So I don't want to take up too much time, and I can't figure out how to get my video working. So my apologies. I've been working at this for an hour now. And
Okay, we can do technical difficulty later, but thank you, Aaron, for being here. And I love Daniel's. Look at Daniel's screen. I'm not sure what's going on there. Aaron, you rock. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Danielle, thank you so much for being here. I am going to bring up our other special, amazing guest real quick here. And his name is actually it's Baron. Baron, Dr. James Awesome Dentley. I put an awesome in there. How are you, James? Good to see you. Please say hi to Danielle.
Fantastic. I've actually met you. Hi, Jessa. How you doing? Hi, Aaron. We gone already. Hello, Janella, Sarah, Nancy, Bonnie.
Good to see you. It's been so long.
Yes.
You guys get after it.
Nancy had snow today.
Everybody give it up for Danielle Delgado. We're going to let her go because I know she's super busy today. So Danielle, thank you so much for all of your awesomeness. You're the best. Parting words, are they bye? Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Just kidding. You're the best. Wait, you're solo now. There. Oh, she's gone. Okay, she's awesome.
Oh, wow.
So guys, congratulations. This just in. I think we hit number one already in one or two categories already. So I wanted to give it up to all of you. Congratulations. I did want to bring Tony Stark on because that's our resident awesome member, Brian Schulman, to say hi as well. But before he's welcome to stay unmuted if you'd like. But Baron James, how are you, sir? It's really good to see you, and we're so excited that you participated in this amazing book project with us and shared your wisdom, your awesomeness. Can you enlighten us? I know we've been here for about an hour, guys. We're only going to be here for another 15, 20 minutes. But James, could you share a little bit about what your thoughts are in regard to the world working in their mindset about creating alignment in their life and in all aspects of the life? What's it take? Can you simplify it for us a little bit here?
Oh, yeah, I like to make things simple. First of all, I want to let you know I'm happy to be here, Eric, because I actually miss you.
Oh,
when we reached out the other day, I reached out to you and said, look, I want to talk to you because I actually missed you. I'm like,
oh,
I miss dudes or anybody else.
Yeah.
You're always with me, but, so I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm excited to be in your presence with your energy.
We love you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, talking about the big book of influence and being in alignment, I think people are trying to create the alignment and path instead of being in alignment, because we're all connected to everything, and everything in the universe communicates. Everything in the universe it operates on vibration, as we know that from the time we're in a mother's womb. But even the wind communicates. The birds know how to get out of Dodge. If the weather is going to be bad, we have equipment up in the sky now that we can measure and see what's taking place. So we're able to look at the weather, we're able to look in the depths of the sea and read the frequencies, the currents, to find out if there's going to be an earthquake, if there's going to be some type of shift, if there's going to be a calamity, if it's going to be calm. So technology has helped us to move in the direction of alignment. But as human beings, I believe we can capture it, and I capture it by being still, by going into meditation, to realize that you're connected to everything. For an example, if you eat chicken, you don't become the chicken becomes a part of you. If you ingest something, it becomes a part of you, and you have influenced every cell in your body that starts to go to work, operating in those things that you have ingested, whether it be knowledge, whether it be breath of air, or whether it be the foods that we eat. Because when the wind blows, and first of all, there's no shortage of anything in the universe. So you can take all the deep breaths you want. You're never going to run out of air. We can't take it away. So there's an abundance of all things. It depends on how we shift it, because a lot of people go to the term, they think inside of a box. Some want to think outside of the box, but then there's some who believe there is no box. And when there's no box, there's nothing but absolute possibility, which means now you're not just living life. You walk up with a zeal to experience life each and every day with joy, to look at the wonders of life, the things that have always been there. So when I breathe in some oxygen and I go outside, I'm breathing in oxygen that's been through trees, it's been through grass, it's been through everything that lives and comes into my body. And my body knows what to do with that. And it oxidizes and feeds and brings life. So we know that there's energy, there's frequency, that everything communicates. Every cell in my body communicates and is smarter than I am. Because even on a cellular level, you might have your great-great-great-great-grandfather's nose, because the cells remember. That's why we stay in alignment. Nothing lives or dies. It's always just transfers. So I think instead of seeking alignment, just to be in alignment, to understand you're already connected. Sometimes we're like these apples that we want to leave the tree because we're tired of hanging. But it's important to stay with the tree because it's not about you. Because, you can take an apple just like a human being. And you can take an apple, cut it open, and you can count the seeds in the apple. But you can't count the apple trees in the seed. And that's really the key of being fruitful and multiplying, even if we don't bear fruit as far as bringing children into the world. We talk to people and speak into the essence of them, being 72% water. We are in alignment and we're connected to water. If we're 72% in the water, then we can speak. It speaks to us. Everything speaks. But can we hear? It's like the movie Men in Black, when you open up the locker and all these little aliens are in there. I look at that on a cellular level. So I believe if we just do something kind every single day, that love leads the way. Live with your life with a quiet intensity where you can be still and you can feel and you can navigate and you can hit that point, they call it a zone. I call it the state of click every single day, and just stay in alignment. And every day you wake up, you know you came in great, you leave out greater, and stop looking and just start being with gratitude, appreciation, and just become a seeker. That's because everything evolves. And all we're doing is discovering more of us. And here's the last thing I'll say. Whatever room anybody's in who's listening or looking, and you go through this book, whatever room you're in, you can look around and look at the technology, look at the mirrors on the walls, the paintings, the drywall, all those things. Every thing we see once upon a time it never existed. However, everything needed to create it was always here. We see it. And when you're being, you get clarity. And it comes a sense of peace and you flow. And life's good no matter what. And when things go wrong, you don't go wrong with them. You'll learn from it and you have a testimony to pass on to somebody else of what you've come through and where you're going and that they can make it as well. So the living example is just finding that space in life where you just find joy every day and just be in a habitude warrior of awesomeness. You're just awesome. Because when you say I'm awesome, you just feel better because you said it, because you have proclaimed something and put yourself in alignment, the pure definition and the culture of what it is to become awesome.
I love it. Oh, James, you're amazing. I love it. I love it. You know, we're so awesome that Jessa actually got the bandana across her head, Habitual Warrior. She's wearing that. So it's amazing. And I love your quote. I just added a little bit to it. 70%, 72% water and 28% awesome. I love it. I hope I did my math correctly there. And you're pretty darn amazing, my friend. And we all miss you. In fact, somebody just texted me saying, "Hey, get me out of the green room. I want to say hi." And it's John Kovach wants to say hi to you.
Hey, John.
James.
James, it's so great to see you. In 2016, I went to a conference hopeful to meet one of my idols, and not even having the opportunity to continue to that next room, I ran into James Dentley, and that led to an alignment course of saying, you know what? I've been thinking about this business thing all wrong. And James got up there and spoke incredibly about the various aspects and tactics and strategies and techniques and belief systems in creating a successful business. And I remember saying, you know what? Whatever thousands of dollars I paid to be at this event, that's all I needed. And I was good. I was able to go home, drive home, walk home. I met James and I gained so much. And I've been on that path. I've aligned myself with incredible people like Eric Swanson and so many of you amazing authors. And I just have to tell that story every time I see James, because again, it is about where you stand, your decision making, and then creating your alignment through your environment. And I love that you always teach that, James. So thank you. And just as a constant reminder, I appreciate your love and connection and your expression to personal development to so many. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored, sir.
I agree with all what he just said. I second, I third it, I triple it, I all awesome. And what do you have to say about that, James?
Well, I'm first of all, I'm honored. You know, I'm always honored. You know, we go through life, and I always say you live life forward, you understand it backwards. We can impart some of our wisdom, but also understand it because 57% of communication is nonverbal, that you speak also through listening because you're saying that this person is important. What they're saying is important. I want to understand you. I want to be in harmony with you. I want to get it. And then I'll repeat back in your own words what you said so you know what you said. Because sometimes we speak and we forget what the heck came out of our mouths. You know, but the bottom line is to be in connection. And none of us are going to be perfect, but we can learn to become perfect inside of our imperfection. And that, if you look at the fact of just our existence and knowing that none of us created ourselves, and whatever you believed in, you know, we didn't make us. And I don't know who birthed the first baby, fed the first baby, and protected the first baby. I don't know. It's beyond my pay grade, but I do know
I'm just saying it was
Yeah,
God, and then there was Jesus, and then there was Adam and Eve. I know the first four. Continue.
Well, Cain and Abel came from.
Oh yeah, Cain and Abel are up there too. I think.
And they got married, but to who?
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't.
A little confusing.
I don't know. But as a seeker, and you go to experiencing, you don't forget that the beautiful thing about the community of being awesome and this book of influence and creating the alignment is that when you're in alignment, then you become it, and you don't have to seek something you already are.
Mm.
You are it. It's not to be figured out as much as it is to be lived.
Mm.
And if you get in that state of flow and life is just good, you can choose that every single day. Every day I wake up, I fall in love with my wife all over again. It's not an effort, it's fun. That is what it means to become awesome. To learn from your children every day is to become fun. To look at the things you have to work on within yourself and know it's not over again till you win. It's not fun because winning is more fun than fun is fun. So you just take those small little victories, and we can find them all around us. And we help other people and celebrate their small little victories. And to me, that is what it is to be an awesome influencer in an alignment where when people walk into your space, they can leave a little bit better, a little bit better. And then if you walk in that space, you know that it's reciprocated because none of us live on an island. We feed off one each other. So as you put good into the world, anything that comes back that's not matching it, it's still matching it. We just don't see it. But if you become it, all things work for the good. Even the storms that may blow down the tree has a purpose somewhere in our lives beyond our understanding. So be the storm sometimes. Be like water, flow, crash. You can drown somebody or you can give them life because without water, there is no life.
I love it. I love it. This is amazing. Wow. We need to do these every night, guys. We're going to be here tomorrow night, day after and day after. This is awesome. I love it. James, you're a blessing to the world. I think it was God, Jesus, then James. I think that was it. That was the deal there. And then Kara. And then everybody.
I tried to be God and it didn't work. Too many phone calls. And if I were God for a day, man, I'd have a great day. But
what would you do if you were God for a day?
I wouldn't want it because the next day you get to be God and my day is going to suck.
Oh,
it's not me anymore. So therefore, I'll let God, however you want to define that God, be God. And I'll be me operating within the God that lives inside of me anyway.
Aren't we all just...
You are the miracle.
You know? I love it. Well, this is amazing. You are definitely a blessing to the world, and I want to give you a virtual hug. I want to give you a real hug, but I'm not in Chicago and it's too cold today. So you're amazing, and thank you for being here, guys. Let's pour into Baron James. Please give him some beautiful love and blessings and so forth.
And you are still Sir Eric Awesome Swanson, sir.
I am. Yes, I'm in the same.
You got a sword. You're official.
Yes. So thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you. And I'll reach out next couple of days here.
You got it. Want to come say hi real quick? Come on. Come say hi.
Yeah. Is it Kara?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Your real boss. There we go. Oh, beautiful Kara.
There she is. The queen.
Oh my God. How are you?
Everybody.
You look amazing. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here and blessing us with your presence as well, Kara. You're amazing. And congratulations as well.
Yes, thank you. Congratulations to each of you. Yes.
Thank you so
much.
All right, we're gonna go around the table here now. James, if you have to take off, I totally respect that. I know. If you're good for okay, great. So we're gonna go ahead and in fact, you know what, James, I'll tell you what, we're gonna do something a little different here. If you have time for a few more minutes, what we are going to do is just go around the room and sort of interview every one of us here. Just what's it mean to write in this book about what you wrote about creating alignment? Can you give us just an idea of what what you're striving for the readers to obtain from your chapter? And James, please pick somebody you'd like to chat with right now, just for a few minutes, and we'll go to our next person if you have time.
I'll make some time. I'll start with John because John was able to take my words from other spaces and embody them and do a fantastic job. And I'm really thankful for that. I don't take it for granted. And I know I just wished, man, that I would have just dived in there. I was writing 5 books at the same time for 5 people and running 5 companies. I was going crazy. So I want to thank you. So John, what does it mean? And to you when you take those words and you write in the book? And what does this project, because there's a passion you have inside of you, and when you communicate through text, I feel you, sir. So tell me, where does that come from, and what does it mean to you?
Well, that means the world to me, James, and I appreciate that recognition. And honestly, I give my intuition credit more than I give myself credit, because alignment is all about finding that northern star, that direction you want to head. And when I was set on this path of personal development and helping people through personal development, I found a methodology that has stuck with me. And the first time I ever picked up a book by Napoleon Hill, the book Think and Grow Rich, and I had read both Think and Grow Rich and How to Win Friends and Influence People in the same year. And both books made such a major impact on me that I realized something, that I need to establish harmony in my life. And that was the word I chose at the beginning of this call. And harmony is a word that Napoleon used in his book on the definition of a mastermind, that you need to surround yourself with one or more people and create an environment where the spirit of harmony can reside so that you can make solutions come to fruition. And I've lived that. I've loved that. And if anything, I've learned from you. I've learned from Eric Swanson. I've learned from all of my exceptional mentors and the people I look up to in this world as people I want to do as much good as they're doing through creating harmony in the lives of others. And I know that I can do that. I know that we can all do that by establishing and curating that environment, by setting ourselves apart from the herd and being in harmony with the direction and the goals that we have with life. And that, simply enough, is the direction that we must all take, for me, and my invitation to the world. And so it is an honor to hear from you, and thank you and giving me the opportunity to yell over a bus that's driving by and say, I gladly will speak to this and just share that alignment is all about an internal game. And if you can play that game,
and that's his short version of the answer, by the way. You should see the long version, by the way, is written right in this book.
It's about 300 and something pages.
John's going to suggest that everyone go grab the book right now. John, where do we get the book? Where do we get the book?
Go to Amazon. Actually, you can go to thebookofinfluence.com, and you'll see a bunch of links here in the chat below. But also, just go to Amazon, type in The Book of Influence, Creating Alignment. We got 3 books in this series. It's fantastic. Get it for free today. It's amazing. And paperback coming shortly.
That's awesome. I'm going to share actually the the banner or whatever they call this here. Let me see if I can put it somewhere. There we go. Thebookofinfluence.com. You can go there. Now, people may be asking, hey, what about Barnes & Noble? Or what about all the different places around the world? Of course, but go to, everyone's pointing down, like what's going on down there? Oh, the link is down there. So everyone's like, I got a dog underneath me, I got a cat, what's happening? So the Book of Influence, and that brings you to the Amazon page, because clearly we're on Amazon first. That's the process. And then in about a week and a half or so, you'll be able to order all of these on barnesandnoble.com. You can go into Barnes & Noble and order it there. You can go to target.com. You can go to Walmart. You can go to Chapters. You can go to any bookstore across the world and find our books there as well. So, but right now you get it for free because we're cool and we want to hit bigger charts. So there you go. There's the secret. So what else? Baron James, could you ask another individual here? Who else would you like to interview? I'm
going to start with Brian. I'm going to go with the gentleman first, because this morning I declared this weekend being Mother's Day, Mother's Weekend. And I want the last 10 words. We're going to try to do the best we can as men to impart some wisdom from our perspective. But since all of us,
so you're saying get rid of all the females? All right, they're all leaving. Look at that! Look at that! What happened?
Cut it out.
Just kidding. I'll bring it back. So Brian.
Brian.
By the way, we just in. I got to say, my buddy just popped in, Mr. Dan Clark. What's up, Danny?
Hey, my gosh. How have you all been? I haven't seen you all forever.
Stick around for a couple minutes, Dan, if you could, just for a second.
Yeah,
we're mid-sentence on James asking Brian a question. James, what is your question for Brian?
Yeah, Brian, what do you want the reader to get from your book, and what will the reader feel through your words?
Wow, that's a That's a great question. Now, I don't have the honor and privilege of being a part of.
Don't say it, Brian. Just go with the answer. Just pretend, Brian. Go.
Okay, Brian, in your sphere of influence, and you look at influence and creating alignment. When you talk about alignment and when you share, what do you want the person to feel? What anchors and triggers can you impart and plant inside of a person that they can't run away from, that helps them move in the direction of that clarity and alignment?
Yeah, James, I love your questions and I love all the knowledge that you're dropping. So I just want you to know how much I appreciate you and your knowledge and your heart. Just like that. Exactly. What I'll say is this, whether it's writing books, taking stages, the most important thing to me is the power of impact and the impact that one human being can make on another human being's life. And I think Maya Angelou said it best. People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. It's all about the feels. It's all about the vibes. If you can leave somebody with a feeling from the words that you are sharing, you have made a greater impact on that human being's life that has picked up that book in digital or paperback form that will last a lifetime. And I think that is the incredible gift that we have as authors, to be able to give, to be able to receive. I think each and every one of us has had the honor of having someone share with us the impact that writing has had on them, and how it makes them feel and how it's changed their life. And, like I said, I think that is the greatest gift of all. And really, for me, that's the gift that I hope to give. It's a lasting legacy, and it's an incredible honor, and something that I think each and every one of us cherishes.
Fantastic. Great answer. Great answer. I want to say to all of the listeners, all of the viewers who will ever see this as an archive in eternity, one of the greatest things about reading a book is to learn to read with your senses. You learn to read with all of your senses. You smell it. You put yourself there. You hear it. You embody it, and you get so much incredible joy from every thing that you're doing. Now, okay, I got Daniel. Okay, give me the name back up here because I can't remember this gentleman's name, and I apologize. Come on.
Let's see.
You got to move it.
There we go. All right.
Daniel, there you go. I was going to say Daniel. I had it. I just didn't want to say the wrong name. Daniel, I apologize, but hello. I'm not going to call Dan until Dan can talk after the ladies because Dan talks for a long time. You can't get this man to shut up. He's so wise, and I have to write when he does it as part of my assignment. So I'm obligated to do that part of my work week, my prison release program. Daniel, you're an author in the book. What do you want the reader to take away in this book that you know that's the most impactful, profound thing from your words, from your heart, that you want us to get from your writings?
What I would like the reader to take away from the book, and first, thank you for asking that question. I'm very grateful that you did, is I would like the reader to take away that there are tools and techniques out there that have been here for a long time. Mm-hmm. And we just don't know they're there. Some people have no education on the subject. These are tools that have been used by thousands of people over decades to help them build their lives. And now with the generation that I am leaving this world with, I would like them to have that information. So that way they don't grow up like me. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I can make it even simpler. I have an honorary doctorate degree. I had a D average in high school. I thought I had a B once, but it was really two Ds close together. But I tell people, in the movie The Wizard of Oz, we've all seen it. And the most impactful part of that movie, it's a lot of nuggets there, there's a lot of sauce there, is that everything you ever needed, you always had it inside. And that's Daniel Kilburn, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm going to move to Bonnie. I like Bonnie, from your heart of hearts. When you write, you're a very serious lady, but I'm looking for the fun side. Come on. Okay. I got to smile a little bit. Okay. Bonnie, tell us in the book, what are some of the things that you want us to own from what you've written and your experiences and what you want to share?
I had to reinvent myself. I had to realign myself. And again, thanks to Eric and John and Aaron Lee and a few others, Jessa, who knows me. After my husband passed away, I'm still reinventing myself financially. everything in my life changed. So that whole chapter was really about me reinventing, realigning. But now I'm realizing, after giving some books out, as I told Eric, and ones like this that I'll give out, people are actually coming back to me and saying, "Oh my God, you impacted me." I don't know I'm impacting others. My values are heartstring. That's my mission. That's my everything. It's about connecting connecting with people and those vibes. And if I can change, and one of my missions are, if I could change one person at a time, that's my goal. I have a list of the things that I'm aligning right now. And again, thanks to the journey of this and the books that I've been invited to and honored to write in, and the people that I'm blessed to get to know through this. And Erin Lay, I know her, gosh, almost 25, 30 years. She was one of the first people I ever sold a home to years ago. I never thought in my entire life I would ever be an author. And my husband was helping me do some editing and writing right before he passed, because it was just at the very beginning. So I know that he'd be very proud, and I want to pay that forward to others. And I found out just this week, I impacted somebody that actually sent my bio and my stuff to China. I had no idea that I could reach China. So if I can impact somebody there, and I can impact somebody here, one person at a time, doctors, other people that I'm feeling impacting, it's because of you. It's because of this book. It's because of this series and all the things I've learned from this journey. And it has been a journey for me. It's been a miracle journey for me. I'm now starting to write my own books, design my own books. I'm bringing my art back into my life, outside of spiritual and children's books. So I'm reinventing myself thanks to these guys here.
Yeah.
So I'm honored to meet you, and I hope to meet you in person someday. So I want to give someone else a chance. Jessa knows me quite well and knows my heartstring. So, and I learned a lot from her too, from her group. So thank you.
Well, Bonnie, I just learned something about you. And in the words of a great man who happens to be on this line, that you never hit rock bottom, only rock foundation. And all you've done is return back to the essence of who you always were supposed to be, or we're trying to figure out who am I supposed to be? What's my role? And
what am I? That's my slogan, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, the foundation of you is there, and that's why you're doing it now. And the great thing about building a solid foundation, we don't build the foundation to live on the foundation. We build the foundation to build upon the foundation. So I'm so thankful for you, because the foundation you're set right now, and you kind of, sometimes we got to spackle it up and get rid of some cracks and expand it. And the foundation you're building right now, because of the writing and the things you chose to do, you can impact lives. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it been known in the hearts of man what the Creator, our God, has in store for those who love Him. So lead with love and continue to do your great work. And remember, think bigger, because there's more, Bonnie. There's more.
All I'm thinking is, who am I now? Thanks to you guys every day.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, James, on that. So just to kind of sort of bring this a little full circle, because we are running short on time, we want to go ahead. And who has not spoken yet? I know we're going to get to Dan in a second as well, but Daniel, you answered a little bit. Bonnie just did. Sarah has it yet, I believe. So let's cruise over to Sarah, and then Nancy, and then we will end with. And I don't know if Jessa has mentioned anything yet either. So we've got 3 more really quick. Okay, guys, 60 seconds each. Sarah, 60 seconds on the clock. Tell us a little bit about what you want the listeners to really learn, or the readers, I guess. It's a book, right? Sarah.
So you pointed out today correctly that I'm a little bit nervous today, because I wrote in this chapter about the violence of alignment in nature and in business, and how I knew most of the other people would write about the beauty of alignment and getting to alignment and your values and all these things. But I talked about how sometimes alignment is replacing somebody else who wants to be there, right? And the competitiveness that comes out sometimes with alignment when everyone is pushing for the same goal in a small space. I don't know why I wrote that meaning, but it was what I was thinking at the time, which is I've never heard anyone else really talk about that, but I know we've all experienced it.
Beautiful.
Right? Everyone's experienced that. And I I just brought up that I wanted people to know that they weren't alone when they were experiencing that, because that was basically what I was thinking about. Was I don't want people to feel alone because no one talks about that.
That's a beautiful concept. Thank you for sharing that. That's really beautiful. Oh, one of your paintings just fell behind. Oh no, that's such a beautiful concept, though. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate.
Well, what do you guys think about that? What, Dr. James? By the way, Dr. James, I work with John Chin, so I know you also know John Chin pretty well, and I worked with him for about almost 15 years. So,
oh wow.
Okay. But yeah,
so we'll open it up for just James, 30, 60 seconds, really quick, if you could, so we can stay on time with the rest.
Well, you know what? The feel alone, feeling, separate how you feel sometimes from what you know to be true. Easier said than done, because feelings are just very fleeting. You feel like your heart is broken, but if your heart was broken, you'd be dead. So you get wrapped in a story, no different than going to the movies, the soundtrack underneath the stories. And when I train people how to use their voice like that soundtrack, that determines the emotion that we lock into. And that creates the experience. They do it in the movies with intention, television with intention. In music, you do it with intention. So it's good you let people know that, because they're alone, but so is the caterpillar. And it's so essential to go through that phase to become the butterfly. So life is we're just lifing. We're just lifing. But it's good for you to let people know that you have the same experience they have when they're in the midst of that confusion, that you're not by yourself. Somebody else understands. And when it comes to separating people and the violence of alignment, it's not really that. You have to learn how to love people across the street sometimes. It has nothing to do with you. Everybody, you don't have the requirement of somebody have to be here to be fulfilled, because you were born of that royal priesthood, set apart, beautifully and wonderfully made.
Look at that. Oh, this is amazing. This is like a seminar all in its own. I love this. This is amazing.
You kind of text me out of the blue. You asked for it.
I love this. I feel like we should take a 10-minute break. Everyone come back and let's do another 3 hours. This is awesome. So,
and Dan, I wasn't trying to ignore you, but I knew Eric would only let me ask.
Sarah, got it. Hold on. Chill. It's okay. Hold on. I'm going to get to Dan in a second, but I really need to rein in this time situation here. So that being said, real quick, Jessa, just a quick 60 seconds, then we'll jump over to Nancy, and then we will get to Dan because he's amazing. He's right there. All right, Jessa, what you got?
Yeah, so I really want to just extend the invite, because right in this moment, you may or may not consider yourself a leader. You may or may not consider yourself someone who has impact, who has influence, and really inviting you into that awareness that you are a leader. You are leading, you are impacting, you are influencing every single moment of every single day. You're impacting and influencing yourself, and you're impacting and influencing everyone around you. So really inviting yourself to start to identify with the leader that you already are. You are already leading. You are already influencing. You don't have to be out in the world sharing a message on social media or posting on social media. Within your home, you're impacting your influences at your place of business, whether you have your own business or you work for someone else, you're impacting, you're influencing. So every moment of every day, you have an opportunity to provide someone with, something that's supportive, and influence and impact in that way, or something that's either neutral or unsupportive. So really just stepping into that identity for yourself is that you are already a leader. You are already someone who has impact and influence.
I love that. And it goes into the belief system then, and the convincing yourself. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jessa. I really appreciate it. Everyone here on the screen, just go like this, just like the I Love Lucy. Just close your eyes and go like that. Ready? Go. Perfect. Everyone's agreement. Moving on to the next individual we want to ask is I love you guys. Nancy, really quick, 60 seconds if you could, and then we will bring up Dan Clark and finish our show today.
Absolutely. Well, I want to start by saying congratulations to everyone. I definitely would love to have a conversation with Dr. James and Dan, their feedback, their wisdom on, this conversation. And I know there's not time for that right now, but for me, I'm really about having people feel seen, heard, loved, and valued for who they really are. Help them find that inner voice and alignment and live in that alignment. I wore a mask for so long. receive this however you must. There's no judgment about how you feel or how you receive it. But I was sexually abused by my grandfather till I was 16 years old, when a mandated reporter, blew in and the legal system got involved. I wasn't ready for it. I had no idea this mask that I had carefully crafted was ripped from me. And for the next, 30 years, I just kept trying to recreate one mask after the other and was miserable. And so, when I work with clients, there's a couple of questions that I ask them to ask themselves, and that I ask myself to check my alignment. Like, am I with people who I feel respect me and my opinions? They don't have to be the same, but are they respectful of them? Are they willing to engage in conversation? Do I feel like it matters? Do I feel valued as a member of the team, whether it's me and one other person or a group, a large group? Am I being genuinely heard and understood and seen? And knowing that I have a voice to contribute, and that I will never be silent again. And so for me, alignment is both within ourselves and outside of ourselves in the world, and encouraging people to embrace the ugly, snotty, unsexy parts of living life and being human, because the second I did that, I was able to have gratitude for my journey. I'm wrapping it up. I see you. I had gratitude for my journey, and instead of trying to outrun it, I invited it to walk beside me, because it had given me so much skill and wisdom. And because I have found my voice and I'm able to talk about such a difficult subject, I am helping change the narrative, but I'm also helping people who have never met someone else like them, have felt alone their whole lives, and encouraging them to embrace their story and take off their masks and receive that unconditional love and acceptance that we all deserve.
Wow. Yes, look at all the beautiful hearts coming up. I was trying to do hearts, by the way. It's still just not working on my hands here. Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, I absolutely know everyone wants to pour into you right now, and not only pour into you, but pour through you to the world, right? That's what you're all about, Nancy, is you are a shining light for others to learn from what you've experienced, so they don't have to experience that, or if they have, how to navigate that in such a way to live a fulfilled, amazing life, to abolish things like that. So,
and I want to quickly say, I know it's not my turn. I'm not allowed, but I'm going to do it. Dr. James, your analogy of like, you can breathe all you want, and all you want and all you need, and the air never runs out. That abundance attitude is so crucial in our lives, in terms of our willingness to stand up for ourselves, but also to believe in the rising tide lifts all ships. We don't need to compete with one another. And if we can give that grace to ourselves and the people around us, and that abundance mentality, there's a beautiful alignment there. Thank you, Eric.
Absolutely. Everyone give some big hearts to Nancy. I love you. I love this.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Love you too.
So Dan, we just don't have enough time. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
My fault. Sorry.
I mean, good luck following that one, Dan. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on the one and only dear friend of mine, Dan Clark. He's the shortest guy I know, with the longest resume and bio. Let me read his bio. Let me just no, I'm just kidding. Dan, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm so amazed. I haven't interacted with Dr. James for 1,000 years, and kicking back here in Arizona, and I get this text from John. Why don't you join us? I had no idea what I was entering, what room, what issue was about. But this proves true what all of you are saying. I love you as well. I take that word very seriously. We wouldn't even be gathered on this Brady Bunch screen if we were not in alignment with the true principles and the truths of the universe that never change, that are the same yesterday, today, and forever. So when Jim Rohn reminded the world that we become the average of the 5 people we associate with the most, which means we must be willing to pay any price and travel any distance to associate with extraordinary human beings, even online. It's pleasant. It's more than serendipitous for me to join you on an afternoon in Arizona and not know a thing about any of you, except obviously Eric, John, and Dr. James, who I admire. But what brought us together and why we are resonating with each other is because of this word alignment. And I think if I could add anything to the conversation, in my experience, I'm a songwriter, so the hook sells the song. The hook, Live Like You're Dying by my buddy Tim Nichols for Tim McGraw. I would say that if the things we think about are different than if the things we think about and deeply believe are different than the things we do, we'll never be happy. So the beginning stage that you all know about alignment is to figure out what we believe. And as I coach speakers on public speaking and storytelling, I just remind them, beginning with 2 simple questions. What would you drive 5 hours one way to say to somebody for free? And if you wouldn't, then you couldn't be a public speaker. You can't be an author, because we have to be the same off stage as we are on stage. And if you can see me right now, right here is our comfort zone. Right here is our job. And way up here is our calling. And what most people do is drag their calling down to the level of their comfort zone, because they don't understand the significance of their calling. What we're supposed to do is bring, work, think, pray our comfort zone up to the level of our calling. And once we answer question number 1, we're ready to answer question number 2, which is the tip of the spear. If you had 1 hour to live, what would you say? And if you wouldn't drive 5 hours one way to say something to somebody for free, then it's not a calling, it's a job, which means there's inclement weather. And I've been doing this gig for 4 decades and I've never missed a speech. And that's not because I'm so noble. It's because, first and foremost, know what I believe. I've accepted my calling. And I really believe that in every one of my audiences, there's at least one man and one woman who's hurting as badly as I was. And if I could show up and say something that would help remind them that alignment isn't about you do you, that's anti-God. One of the 10 commandments is thou shalt have no other gods before me. We can't say God wouldn't do that. Oh, God would never say that. God would never demand that. You do you is anti-God. It's the worst thing I've ever heard in our society. What we need to do is discover the universal truths, the irrefutable universal truths that apply to everybody, every gender, every race, every ethnicity, every religious tradition. And once we align ourselves with those irrefutable universal truths, like the law of reciprocity, like the law of the harvest, we reap only that which we sow. We can only reap or harvest that which we plant. And how about karma? What goes around comes around. And how about what Zig teaches us, that you can get anything in this life that you want if you're willing to help enough other people get what they want. Wealth flows through you, not to you. There are certain irrefutable universal truths, like seek to bless, not impress. It's never about us, it's about them. So I think alignment's easier than we think if we just focus in on aligning ourselves with the already existing order of the universe and tie into that universal understanding that there is a supreme being, there is a master organizer, and embrace the words of Einstein, who said, although the concept of a supreme being and master organizer is complex, we must embrace the mindset of a young child who walks into a large library and says, surely someone must have written all these books. So it's just my honor to join this meeting. I look forward to meeting all of you in person. Special shout out to Eric. You have this innate ability to bring people who are in alignment because they love themselves, they know who they are, together in these amazing conversations. I honor you, John. And most significant.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, Dan, if you can hear me real quick.
James.
I gotta tell you. Hey, Dan, can you hear me? I got to tell you something. You are amazing. Everyone else had to go. It's just you and I, by the way, and left in the room. But you're just amazing. I'm just kidding, Dan. I'm kidding. They're all here. All right. So you're amazing. We love you, man. Look at all the hearts.
You're such work, man.
I am a piece of work, he said. Yes. And I want to share and finish this broadcast. We're just so honored to have all of you here. And Dan, thank you for making the trip, from the kitchen down to the living room where you are right now, and coming on this gosh, the Wi-Fi, it's crazy. Thank you. And you're just amazing. I love making them laugh. And I got to tell you guys, I want to share my screen if I may. It says here present, I think, and share screen. And let me see if I can do this the right way. If I can find what I'm looking for, screenshot, share. And there it is. We hit number 1 in 2 categories so far. For this book series and this book, the Book of Influence, Creating Alignment. Is it showing on the screen now? Yes, it is. And this one's on the business decision making process. We also hit number 1 in self-motivation, in positive attitude and motivation for entrepreneurs and business owners, which is amazing. So super excited about all of you and contributing into this. I cannot stop sharing the screen. Yes, I can. There it is. And I would ask all of you for some parting words to finish, but Dan took all of your time. So we're just going to finish this. Let's see if we can do Dan just did the Pez laugh. Did you see him? Watch. If I can make him laugh the right way, watch him. He does the Pez laugh. You know what the Pez laugh is? Go ahead, Dan. Laugh. That's it. It's the Pez laugh. I love it. You guys are awesome. Honestly, last parting words that anyone would like to share, please do right now as we depart. Once you say something, I'm going to hit boom and you're off the screen. So who's first? Let's see. Bonnie just raised her hand. Go ahead, Bonnie, first.
This is a blessing. One, because I can't believe all the well-known famous people that you keep bringing a part of this. And it keeps changing my life, because I keep tapping into people I never would dream I'd get to know, like James, like Dan. And I think Brian's been around, and a lot of you are motivational speakers and have so much heartstring. And Nancy, the way you opened up, I mean, people are, even myself, how do you open up? You have family, you have children, and you can change someone's life. And I know even with my past and my first marriage, which was disaster, like there's so many lives you can change. So I want to thank you all, because it's so motivational to me, and it's definitely inspiring me moving forward to the rest of my journey, my books, and writing in these books and others, and changing everything. If I have more finances, I could help more in other ways. And that's my dream. So it'll happen.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, thank you, Bonnie, for sharing all what you just said. I love it. Everyone's giving you hearts. Dan, do me a favor, just snap your fingers for 1 second. Just snap one finger in frame. See you, Bonnie. Okay, that was excellent. I can't believe you just got rid of Bonnie, Dan. That was crazy. It's really rude. So who's next? Oh my gosh, Daniel Kilburn wants to say something next. Go ahead, Daniel, really quick. Last comments.
Okay, well, my last comment here is, besides being grateful for being in this room, is for all of you people who are just now popping on and listening, and you missed the last hour and a half. Get the book. Then you'll be able to catch up with us, and then come back and we'll have a chat about what you discovered, what we discovered, and how we're going to transform the world. I'm complete.
That's right. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. That's amazing. Dan Clark, any another snap that you'd like to share? Just a little like that. Just a wave. Just, eyebrow is fine. That's perfect. See you later, Daniel Kilburn. Boom. All right. Next we're going to go with Miss Sarah Lee. Sarah, would you like to, Dan doesn't like this game. Sarah Lee, would you like to share a 30 seconds, Sarah Lee, or less? Go. That's 5 seconds.
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say I'm very grateful to be in this room and be in this group. And I am grateful to be able to influence anyone with my hardships of my work and the things that I've learned. And I thank you, Eric, for being our faithful leader in this. And I appreciate every minute we get to spend together. Congratulations to everyone else who's in this book. And I hope for many years to come, we get to enjoy each other.
Awesome.
And
I love it. I love it. Oh, don't go anywhere. Dan, can you tip your hat for?
I'll snap myself out.
Oh, perfect. All right. That was beautiful. She's gone. So who else?
Hello.
James wants to go now. All right, James. Yes, sir.
Why not? I want Dan to click me out too. Van Gogh said, I dreamed of my painting and I painted my dream. What is it that you dream about? You know, when you get in alignment, when you live your life and you place yourself in alignment with that truth, then you find clarity and you can dream a bigger dream that your life is a canvas and you can create the life that you want to live. But remember that your success in every area is someone else's miracle. And when you decide not to play to win, then somebody else can pay the price because they missed the incredible you.
Beautiful, beautifully said. Wow, that's amazing. You guys ready for this? Here we go. Oh, I got rid of the wrong person. Oh my God. No, I got rid of the wrong person. All right. Dr. James, thank you so much. Baron James, take care. Have a great day. Tell your beautiful wife we said hello as well. All right, take care. All right, that was the polite way to let him go. So, so let's see, Dan. You got to roll the dice. Who do you want to piss off next? Let's go. He's not even gonna pick. Who would like to say something now? It's kind of like it's like musical chairs. We need to do a little chair action here, you know. John, you get to pick either Jessa or Nancy because I'm not picking.
It's definitely Nancy.
You should have picked Dan. Okay, so Nancy, go ahead. Why definitely Nancy? Why? I would. Okay.
You know, we had an argument earlier. We'll get past it. Don't worry. Not at all. Not at all. I'm so thankful to be here. And this book, like all of the books in this series and the books that Habitude Warrior publishes, gathers amazing humans with incredible experiences and souls that want to share wisdom to help others and to be a part. I mean, I have chills thinking about it, like to be a part of something like that, not just once, twice, 3 times, 4 times in this series, right? It's just, it's a privilege and a gift. And I thank you for including me, and to everyone out there who's living life and being human, you're doing it right. You're doing it right.
Thank you. Job. Oh my gosh. You know what? That's the right answer. So you're staying.
I win.
Yeah, you're going to be the last one on here, by the way. We're going to dinner. Jessa, what would you like to share as your last comment?
If it'll let me unmute. Well, first of all, always thank you to you and John, because this is amazing. It's extraordinary to be in a room with such extraordinary, you know, other human beings. I can't, and souls. I can't wait to read everyone else's chapter, because like, this is, I'm with John. I feel like this is the best one yet. I mean, I think this is like my 7th or 8th. I've lost count of how many books I've done with you all now. And I feel like, you know, like this is the best one. It's always like the next one is always the best one. And so what I would love to leave each and every one of you with today is that no matter where you are on your journey, you're closer than you've ever been. Keep going. Like no matter where you are, you're closer than you've ever been. Keep going. Like those few words early in my entrepreneurial journey, like saved my life. So I had it written on my calendar. I looked at it every single day. Jessa, where you are now is closer than you've ever been. Keep going. Where you are now is closer than you've ever been. Keep going. So no matter where you are in your journey, what you're experiencing, what you're going through, what you're navigating, where you are now is closer than you've ever been to where you'd like to go. So just keep going. Just keep going.
Love it. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I love some of these comments are awesome. Thank you, Erin. Erin's one of our amazing authors as well. She shared a little bit earlier and she had to be off camera. So fun. Love this community. I love that. And I love her second thought is snap away, Dan. Okay. So that was amazing. Jessa, thank you for sharing that. That is, that's beautiful. I love that. And then John, would you like to share the last comment? And then we are all going to say good night and go get some food.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to. I didn't want Dan to feel like I invited him here so we could pick on him. But Dan, we love you and thank you so much for your awesome words. And you know, I feel like we're just breaching the surface of this topic of alignment. And the more we talk about it, the deeper we can go and the greater impact we can make in the lives of others. So thank you. Thank you for the topics and conversations. This was an opportunity for us to all learn. And again, I iterate, go back to thebookofinfluence.com or go to Amazon and grab your free copy today while it's still available. And we're just so proud to give this to the public, to allow people to dig deeper into the research, the examples, and the stories. And the sun just got really bright. I feel like God is kissing me with his sunshine right now. It is fantastic. So I just wanted to say thank you. We love you. Go grab your copy today. It's awesome. And Dan, we love you. And thank you for just making time. This was fantastic.
Thanks.
That is awesome. And I'm just seeing a quick note. I think I'm going to post it. Yeah, we'll post it. All right. We're all just going to send Dan Clark the bill for the books. Okay. So guys, and shortly we're going to put his, let me see if I can find it. I don't know if we can, there it is. I found it. Sorry.
There it is. Let me type it.
Yeah, I found it.
There you go. I love what you were saying. Like for me, I've made it through 100% of my worst days, and there's very little in my life that I can say I do with 100% fidelity. There are days I forget deodorant. But I made it through. I know.
There it is. I found it. I found his address. Guys, everyone send your bill to Dan Clark. There it is. It was his.
Aaron got a break today. Dan, thank you. Aaron's usually the one who's snapping and picking, and
I'm telling you, I've heard too.
He moved. His old address was that one, but he is no longer there. They kicked him out. All parties, actually, all parties. Like not even the independent party. He wants to have Dan part of the, which is
we
kind
wanted
of
part of our party.
Yeah, it's independent, whatever.
Well, we want him in our party, so that's what
yes. He's in our party.
He is the party.
You're all
awesome. Dan, last comments you'd like to share within less than what you normally?
Yeah, but what was just mentioned, we didn't come this far just to come this far. So
right.
We've just got to pursue, and I echo every book you put out seems to be the best one. And that means that you're in alignment, really have brought together the irrefutable truths of the universe. And in each volume and in each co-author and our contributions, it allows us to just reiterate that we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. And as we are in alignment, it seems to open up the same window. And even though we're looking at the same lashing rainstorm together, someone might complain what a horrible day, someone else would exclaim what a wonderful day, and the weather did not change. So alignment about what's right, and not who's right, but what's right. May I just add one thought?
Of course, yes.
We really know what we believe, and we're in tune with our core values. 99% of our decisions have already been made. It simplifies life and puts us back into that appreciating and being present and staying present in the moment.
Amen.
And instead of trying to focus on a future outcome, what we have to do is stay present in the process. It's like ordering an Uber ride that requires that we enter in our current location. And if we lie about where we are, the directions won't work. Alignment begins right now by buying the book, reading each page one at a time, sifting through the wisdom, figuring out how it's relevant and relates to our situation, and then use it as a catalyst to take ourselves to the next level. So thanks for having me.
Oh man, Dan, you're awesome, Dan. I got to tell you, just in case you missed it, send your bills to Dan at 123 Main Street. And this just in, we got a thank you card from Barnes and Noble, so I'm just gonna put it up here. Because we have so many #1 bestsellers. Barnes & Noble sent me a note, and here it is. Thank you card from Barnes & Noble to all the authors. Congrats, and stop it. We are doing too many books, apparently, so stop it. Stop writing those. And Dan, have you ever heard of, Jesus Christ and resurrection and all that stuff? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, every once in a while it pops up.
You bless us with so much wisdom, and you talk and you resurrected the rest of the people you got rid of earlier, and now they're back. So here they are. There you go. Sarah's back, and Daniel's back, and who else? I think Danelle's coming back. Everyone's coming back to say hi to you, Dan.
I've missed you, Eric.
We love you, brother.
Thank you. Love you.
I love the fact that your hat is faster than your car.
You're so funny.
You
Nice to meet all of you.
Is it a Ferrari right back there?
We'll see you.
Dude, you're the best. Thanks, Dan. Everyone, give it up for Dan. Oh, he's gone. All right. And you guys are the best. Thank you so much. And please go to thebookofinfluence.com. Go grab your book. It is in the Book of Influence. It's based on Dale Carnegie's work. We've all written in this. It's amazing. There's 3 in the series so far. Authentic Communication is number 1 that we're holding up right now. Number 2, the second book is on likability factor, creating ways to be likable and to like other people. Oof, that's a good one. And the other third book today, it just launched, and we hit number 1 already in 2 categories so far. It is based on creating alignment. So congratulations to all of you. Amazing. The fourth book, which is coming out in 3 months from now, in the same series, and that is the final book, and that is called The Win-Win Theory, which you take all of this put together and really create your purpose of a win-win life. So congratulate to all of you. Thank you so much for being here, but please leave. And also, I'm going to leave John to leave the last comment. John, what is your last comment? Go.
We love you all. Stay tuned and be a true force of influence. Don't be an influencer. Be a true force of influence to yourself, to those in your direct circle of influence, and reach out to bless and bring influence to others' lives. That's it.
I love it. All right, man. High five, dude. You're the best. See you guys later. Thank you so much for being on this stream. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night, all of you, and thank you so much, and enjoy the book. Thank you so much, guys.